Are you good men and true?
Yea, or else it were a pity that they should suffer salvation of body and soul.
Nay, that were a punishment too good for them. Should they have any allegiance in them, being chosen for their prince's watch?
Well, give them their charge, neighbor Dogberry.
First, who think you the most desertless man to lead the watch?
George Seacole, sir, for he can write and read.
Come here, neighbor Seacole. God hath blessed you with a good name. To be a well-favored man is a gift of fortune, but to write and read comes by nature.
Both ways, Master.
You have. Knew that would be your answer. Well, for your favor, sir, give God thanks and make no boast of it. And for your writing and reading, let that appear there's no need of such vanity. You are thought to be the most senseless and fit man to be constable, therefore bear you the lantern. This is your charge. You shall comprehend all vagrant men. You are to bid any man stand in the prince's name.
How, if they will not stand?
Why, take no note of them. But let them go and presently call the rest of the watch together, and thank God you are rid of a knave.
They will not stand when they are bidden. They're none of the prince's subjects.
And you are to meddle with none but the prince's subjects. You are to make no noise in the streets, for the watch to babble and talk is most tolerable and not to be endured.
We will sleep rather than talk. We know it belongs to a watch.
You speak like an ancient and most quiet watcher. For I do not see how sleeping shall offend. Only have a care your bills not be stolen. Well, you are to call on all the alehouses and bid those that are drunk, get them to bed.
How, sir, if they will not?
Why then, let them alone until they are sober. And if they make you not then the better answer, you may say they are not the men you took them for.
Very well, sir.
Well, if you meet a thief, you may, by virtue of your office, suspect him to be no true man. And for such kind of men, the less you meddle and make with them, the more for your honesty.
If we know them to be a thief, should we not lay hands on them?
Truly by your office you may, but I think that those that touch pitch will be defiled. The more peaceable way for you, if you do meet a thief, is to let him show himself for what he is and steal out of your company.
You have always been called a merciful man, partner.
Nay, I would not hang a dig by my will, much more any man who hath honesty in him.
If you hear a child cry in the night, call for the nurse and bid her to still it.
But how if the nurse will not awake and hear us?
Why then depart in peace, and let the child wake her for her crying. For the ewe that will not hear the lamb when he baas, will never answer a calf when he bleats.
'Tis very true.
This is the end of your charge. You are to present the prince's own person. If you meet the prince in the night, you may stay him.
Nay, by Our Lady, I think he cannot.
5 shillings for one on it. By any man who knows the statutes, he may stay him. That is, if of course the prince be willing, for it is the watch ought to offend no man, and it is offense to stay a man against his will.
By Our Lady, I think it be so.
Well, masters, good night. Should any matter of weight trances, call up me. Keep your fellows' counsels and your own, and good night. Come, neighbor.
Well, masters, we hear our charge. Let's sit here until 2 and then on the bed.
Oh, one word more, sir. Keep an eye on Signor Leonato's door for a wedding there tomorrow. There's great toil tonight. Adieu. Be vigilant. I beseech you.
What, Conrad? Conrad, I say!
Here, man, at thine elbow.
Master, my elbow itched. I would it were a scab followed.
I'll owe thee an answer for that. Now forward with thy tale.
Stand thee close under this penthouse, for it drizzles rain. And I shall, like a true drunkard, utter all to thee.
Some treason.
Know that I have obtained from Donna Joanna 1,000 ducats.
Is it possible that any villainy should be so dear?
Thou shouldst rather ask, for it's possible that a villainy should be so rich. For when rich villains have need for poor ones, the poor ones may make what price they will.
I wonder at it.
That shows thou art unconfirmed. Thou knowest that the fashion of a doublet, or a hat, or a cloak is nothing to a man.
Yes, it is apparel.
I mean the fashion.
Yes, the fashion is the fashion.
I may as well say the fool's the fool. But seest thou not what it informs thee this fashion is?
I know that before. He's been a vile villain these 7 years. Yet he goes up and down like a gentleman. I remember his name.
Did you not hear somebody?
No. Let's wait on the house.
I said, seest thou not what it informs thee this fashion is? How giddily it goes about all the hot bloods between 14 and 5 and 30. Sometimes fashion themselves like Pharaoh's soldiers, the old Ricci painting. Sometimes like God's bells preached in the old church window. And sometimes like the shaven Hercules, whose codpiece seems as massy as his club.
All this I see, and I see that the apparel has more fashion than the man. Are not thou thyself getting with the fashion too, so much so that thou hast shifted out of telling me of the tale into telling me of the fashion?
Not so. But know that I have tonight poor Margaret, the late hero's gentlewoman by the name of Hero. She leads me out of a mistress's bedroom window, bids me 1,000 times good night. I tell this tale vilely. I must first tell thee how Mistress Donna Joanna and the Prince and Claudio from afar off in the orchard witnesses amiable encounter.
And they thought Margaret was Hero.
2 of them did, the Prince and Claudio. But the devil, my mistress, knew she was Margaret. And by her oath was first possessed him, by the dark night which did deceive him, but chiefly by my villainy, which did confirm any slander that Donna Joanna made. Away went Claudio, enraged, swore he would meet her at the temple the next morning and shame her with what he saw the other night, and leave her home again without a husband.
We charge you in the prince's name! Stand!
Go, get the right master constable. We have discovered the most vile piece of lechery that is ever known in this Commonwealth.
Yeah, and that deformed thief is one of them. I know him. He wears a lock.
Masters? Masters?
No, bring the deformed forth, I warrant you.
Masters.
Never speak! We charge you in the prince's name. Let us obey you to follow us. Oh!
We should prove a goodly commodity. Excuse me. Being taken of these men's goods.
Commodity, I warrant you. Come, we'll obey you.
Good Ursula. Wake my cousin Beatrice and desire her to rise.
I will, lady.
And bid her come hither.
Well.
Well, my troth, I think your other rubato was better. No, pretty good neck. I'll wear this. Well, my troth's not so good, and I warrant your cousin will say so. Oh, my cousin's a fool, and thou art another. I'll wear none but this. Well, I like the tie within excellently. If the hair were a thought browner, and your gown's the most rare fashion of day. I saw the Duchess of Milan's gown today, praise so. Oh, exceeds, they say. By my troth, 'tis but a nightgown in respect of yours. For a fine, quaint, and elegant fashion, yours is worth 10 on it. God give me joy to wear it, for my heart is exceedingly heavy. 'Twill be heavier soon by the way of a man. Oh! Are not ashamed?
Of what, lady? Of speaking honorably? Is not marriage honorable in a beggar? Is not your lord honorable without marriage? I think you would have me say, saving your reverence, a husband. And that thinking do not rest true speaking, I'll offend nobody. Is there any harm for the heavier for a husband? I think not. And it be the right husband and the right wife, otherwise 'tis light and not heavy. As my lady Beatrice else, here she comes.
Oh, good morrow, cuz. Good morrow, sweet hero. Oh, why, how now? Do you speak the sick tune? I'm out of all of the tuney things.
Clasp you into light of love. That goes without a burden. Do you sing it, and I'll dance it.
You light of love with your heels. Then, if your husband has staples enough, you'll see you shall lack no barns.
Illegitimate construction, I'll scorn that with my heels.
It's almost 5 o'clock, cousin. It's time you were ready. Oh, my troth, I am exceedingly ill.
Hey-ho. For a hawk, a horse, or a husband.
The letter that begins them all, H.
Well, and you not be turned Turk, there's no more sailing by that
What
stop.
means the full trout?
Nothing I, but God give everyone their heart's desire. These gloves the Count sent me, they're an excellent perfume.
I am stuffed, cousin, I cannot smell.
A maid and stuffed, they're simply catching a cold.
God help me. Help me. How long have you professed apprehension?
Ever since you left it, doth not my wit become me rarely.
It is not seen enough. You should wear it in your cap. Oh, my troth, I am sick.
Get you some of this distilled Carduus Benedictus, and lay it to your heart. 'Tis the only thing for a balm.
There thou hast pricked her with a thistle. Benedictus? Well, why Benedictus? You have some moral in this Benedictus?
Moral? No, by my troth, I meant plain holy thistle. You may think perchance that I think that you are in love. Nay, fair lady, I am not such a fool as to think what I list, nor to think not what I can think. Indeed, I can if I would put my heart out of thinking that you are in love, or that you can be in love, or that you will be in love. Yet, Benedict was such another, and now is he turned a gentleman. He swore he would never marry, and now, despite his heart, he eats his meat without grudging. And how you may be so converted, I know not, but methinks you look with your eyes as other women do.
What pace is this that thy tongue keeps?
Not a false gallop.
Madam, withdraw. The prince, the count, Signor Benedict,
Donna Joanna and all the gallants of the town are come to fetch you to church.
Help me dress, because
Meg, Ursula.
Signor Leonardo. Signor Leonardo. Signor Leonardo. Signor Leonardo.
What is it, dear neighbors?
Marry, sir, I would have some confidence with you that descends in me.
Brief, I pray, for you see I'm very busy at this time.
Marry, this is, sir.
In truth it is, sir.
Goodman Virtus, sir, speaks a little of the matter. An old man, sir, and his wits are not so blunt as, God help, I should likely were, but in faith, as honest as the skin between his brows.
Yes. I thank God I am as honest as any man living. That is, an old man, and no honester than I.
Comparisons are odorless. Palabras need of words.
Neighbors, you are tedious.
It pleases your worship to say so, but we are the poor duke's officers. Nay, were I as tedious as a king, I should find it in my heart to bestow it all of your worship.
All of that tediousness. I mean,
And £12,000 more, for I hear as good exclamation on your worship as of any man in the city, and although I be a poor man, I am glad to hear it.
I would fain know what you have to say.
Marry, sir, our watch tonight, accepting your worship's presence, has taken in a couple of as inerrant knaves as any in Messina.
An old man, sir, he will be talking. As they say, when the age is in, the wit is out. God help us, it is a work to see. Well said in faith, naval Burgess. But God is a good man, and when two men ride on a horse, one must ride behind. An honest soul in faith, sir, by my troth he is as ever bred. But all men are not alike. Alas, good neighbor.
Indeed, neighbor, he comes too short of you.
Gifts that God gives.
I must leave you.
Oh, one word, sir. We have indeed comprehended two auspicious persons, and would have them this morning examined before your worship.
Take the examination yourself and bring it to me. I'm very busy.
Oh, it shall be suffragance.
Drink some wine. There you go.
My lord, they stay free to give your daughter to her husband.
I'm having it ready.
Go, good neighbor, go. Get thee Francis C. Cole and Pitt to bring his inkhorn and his pen and get to the jail. We are now to the examination of these men.
We must do it wisely.
Oh, we shall spare no wit, I warrant you. He is that shall drive some of them to a non-com. Only get the learned writer to set down our excommunication and get to the jail.